Now let's get this show started. Welcome to the ZBHO Dojo. My name is Spicer, your spicy sensei, and today on stream, we're going through some critiques from the XMD Academy, anatomy critiques, and then some Frazetta. You know it's going down tonight. But before we get started, kicking ass, taking names, and staying in our lane, let us give thanks and praise to the lords and gods of ZBHO, starting with Lord Frazetta. Thank you, Lord Frank Frazetta. Next, Saint Joseph of Christ. Next, Saint Paul. Look up here, look up here, look up here. Good morning. Next, we have Ryan, the king of Slian. And finally, Simon Lee, Spider of Thank you for your education, your inspiration, and your overall badassness. How's it going, Dojo? How's it going? One second. I always forget that light. I always forget the light. But I'm back. I'm back. It's just like that. It's just that quick. That way you're fully immersed into the dojo. How is everyone doing? How was your week? Talden? Love it. Eric, what's going on? Emmanuel, thank you for being here. We're also going to give away a course today. On the stream, we're giving away a course. It shall be good. It shall be good. So, let us go into the dojo and begin with some critiques. This is the Frazetta piece working on right now. We'll get to that later on in the stream. But today, we are going into some critiques. What's up, ShareX? Oh yeah. Alrighty, so this one is from Lincoln Tanache Uka. If it's gonna open. Hopefully it does. There we go. Looking good there, horn. Alrighty, so let's take a look at what is going on. Okay. So I would say that her proportions, her head is really small. Let me go in here and make sure. Yeah. How's the music, everybody? Is it all good? Let's see. Alrighty. So, what up, Zinc? So yeah, the shoulder width is kind of short. And let's go BMN. And so we should probably bring the shoulder out that far, which would bring the arm over here. But it just depends on kind of what you're going for, because you got two different body styles here. Zinchwet! What's up, B? What up, Marco? Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Okay, so let's talk about what we can do here, what we can do. So, right there, bring that down. The clavicle doesn't really bend up that quickly. You kind of want to have a straighter line going to it. The shoulder is kind of short. We want to lengthen that out. Okay, so we have that, and generally whenever you have a cap delts like that, there's a whole lot of other musculature that goes along with that. So you might want to think about the muscularity that you want to portray in all of this. Okay, and I mean, here it's just kind of preference, you know, of all this, but I would say that the head is very very small in comparison to everything else. So I'm going to mask up to the neck, right about there, click it in the middle. Yeah, you can always submit in the Discord, the Dojo Discord. You can always do that. And then I'm gonna fade it and then grow it up, so it should be right around there. And then her body doesn't seem so so wide, right? The next thing I would do is add a bit more information here to the back. So first thing, you know, how buff do you want her to be? If you want her to be, you know, Miss Olympia type level, then we need a little bit more space here in the armpit. Okay, your lat is inserting into your armpit, and so is your teres major. Okay, your teres major is going to be at the end of your scapula, so it's very important that you have this here and you bring it in. Okay, so you just flatten it out, get the teres major in here, and then bring this over, right? Let's see. Oh yeah, B, thanks for joining. Looks like they might have sculpted this in perspective. Let me possibly, but yeah, I try not to sculpt in perspective. I leave that for the render engine, just because you don't want to. When you have that perspective, it's pretty strong, depending on the focal length, especially if you go down to 35. It's really going to warp the proportions of your face. And so I hardly ever sculpt with perspective. I'll do it after I'm done sculpting and I just want to see it and want it to look cooler. But that's about it. But it's not a necessary thing that you need while you're sculpting. All the time. But yeah, so here we just need a little bit less of this rib cage, because remember the rib cage needs to be smaller, and then the hips, and also with this, you know, with this body type that you're kind of hinting at here, we're definitely going to see the front of her whatchamacallit, the anterior superior iliac spine. Okay, and here you're just losing your rib cage. It's just disappearing back here, so we need to sculpt that back in. And concerning you know, how to tell and all of that, I always suggest everybody, let me get that, there seems to be a topology issue there. But I always suggest everyone put a skeleton inside of the mesh, especially when because I know most people are either lack confidence or experience or are very hesitant to sculpt females because they don't want it to look like a dude with breasts most of the time, right? So in here you have Lightbox, you've got Tool, you've got Ryan Kingsland model here. Oh, let me get this a little bit bigger. Sorry, I was recording a new tutorial for XMD, so hopefully y'all like it. But yeah, so where was I? Yeah, so you have the rib cage already in here, so you can get all your proportions, you can get all your bony landmarks just from here. You just bring it over into your mesh, right? I don't know if you've done that already. I don't think you have. No. Okay, so you can put it underneath here. You can insert and reference that. And I like to put the waypoint at the head of the sternum, right? Right there. Okay. And then I just like to match it up. So go up here and match the head of the sternum. So yours is, oops, got symmetry on. I'm going to move that out and roughly right here. Going to turn transparency on and then grow it up to where your chromium process is matching. Okay. And then you can start putting it into place. Right here. I'm going to rotate this a little bit because that's what you kind of have. You kind of have her arched that way. And whenever you're like bending or moving the rib cage, your rib cage, everything, all of the spine that is attached to a rib. So these floating ribs and then all of these ribs, they don't move. You can look at let's look at a contortionist X-ray. Contortionist X-ray. Okay. So if we take a look at this, I'm pretty sure y'all have seen this before. But here you go. All right. Here's the cervical spine. Everything that's attached, that's the neck, right? Soon as we start attaching the ribs, look how straight it becomes. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right around here, which is where the lumbar spine is going to begin. I might have missed one up here. Forgive me! All right? But anyway, so then you got the spine and then you got the sacrum, right? The entire chest stays the same, right? It may be slightly compressed, but you're not going to get the flexibility that you will get with the lumbar and the cervical spine, okay? So whenever you're, positioning your rib cage, you just keep it together, right? Don't stretch it, don't warp it, don't twist it, or anything like that. All that twisting is in the lumbar and the cervical. Everything else is just going to stay. All right. Talden. What up, Lobo? If we can get to it, I'm gonna sculpt on some Frazetta. We're getting to my students first, and past students, and then we'll see how much time we have, because I at least want to get about 45 minutes of sculpting in. So yeah. Let's see. Really, I keep perspective on all the time. That's fine. I mean, if that's the way you want to work, I'm not saying it's the wrong way to do it. If it keeps you there and it keeps you sculpting, then keep doing it, you know? But if you don't want warp perspective, or your sculpts look kind of weird a lot of the time, then you might want to sculpt with it off. Ashraf, what's going on? Thanks for coming back. Appreciate you. Skeleton does come standard in the full version of ZBrush, yes. What up, Carbon? We're going to get to yours. Yours is the third one. Where are we on time? Because I do have a limited time tonight. Let's go another 2-3 minutes, and then we will keep going, right? So, but yeah, that's what I would do to kind of get all this going. Let's grab the cervical and everything before it's and then we can put this right, match it. Oops, match it along with the vertebra. And then we're going to rotate. So we're gonna roughly put it right there so we can get the rib cage, okay? So now what we can do is we can start marking things in. If you want to adjust the opacity of the mesh that is on top, you can go to preferences and draw and back opacity. Okay, so I kind of want it somewhere around here. But the first thing I would do is I would go in here and I would bring this in, right? Get this pretty close to the rib cage to get it started, right? If you want to bulk her up or you want to make her thicker or whatever you want to do, that's fine. But let's start with this first, right? Let's start with this close to the rib cage. Have your back following the rib cage as well, right? So we don't want like a square back here, right? And so you can kind of tell where your rib cage needs to be adjusted and all of that. For average size breasts, they should come back up into the 5th rib. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So if you want it on the 7th rib, it's going to have to be a much larger breast. So we need to bring that up here to the 5th rib, kind of like where the pectoralis would be, okay? And so that's also going to make her feel a little bit younger as well. So yeah, and then, you know, breasts are an entire episode, an entire stream to get them correct. Okay, so what I would do is sculpt the breast separately, and I would just worry about getting your pectoralis correct, right? So you want to get your sternum al dente, you want it to the bone here. Okay, you don't want this kind of veering off of the rib cage too much. So you want to just lock this in. And so if you do this, you know, over and over and over again for years and years and years, like I have, you can kind of tell when things are off, and you can kind of work your way into a better direction just by looking at it, right? But you just need that practice first. So definitely try this method with your male and female characters. If you want a free male skeleton that's pretty accurate, you can go to Bad King. You can type in Bad King space ZTL space skeleton brush. I'll give you all the direct link right now because that's the kind of guy I am. All right, make sure you register. Make sure you tip him a little bit. You know, buy him a hamburger. Buy him a hamburger, okay? But if you go there, that's a pretty reliable male skeleton that I use as a frame, not the rule book at which everything is, because the forearms are a little long and there's other things that are kind of off about it. But putting it in there, if you're just starting, putting it in there is going to be way better than not having it in there. So definitely try it out, okay? But yeah. Let's see. Do you think that's one crazy looking spine? Oh yeah. Juan Jose Salazar Morales. What is going on? Just in case, I'm here late, but here, everybody staying in their lane, huh? It's actually THEIR. Okay, actually, just in case, actually, stay in your lane, all right? If you can't spell, stay in your lane. Frankie Uchi, hey Spicy, good to see you, man. Hope you had a great week. Thank you very much, brother. I hope you had a good one too. I know I do. I try to have the best weekends. Have the greatest weekends. Dan does. Spicer was just telling us how the ribcage stays in its lane. Awesome. I bought ZBrush. Best investment ever. Congratulations, B. Everybody give B some GGs. He is now in the ZBrush Pixologic family. Way to go, GG. GG. Carter, whoa, that looks pretty neat. And don't forget to register for the ZBrush Summit. Don't forget. Attentive Slug, what's going on? Skull Hat, welcome. Thank you for coming back. Skull Hat, hello, I'm here to stay in my lane. Zinchwat! What's this lane thing I've been hearing lately? Oh, the last stream. I was just making an analogy or metaphor, whatever you want to call it, about pacing yourself in sculpting, so you don't burn yourself out, kind of like crash dieting. And someone comes in and is like, dieting's a super complicated issue. Maybe you should stay in your lane. I'm like, who the hell's this guy? He doesn't know anything about me. So yeah, inside joke. So now he's our new catchphrase for obnoxious audacity. I live for this chaotic energy Spicer gives off. Sergio Santel, hey Spicer Sensei. Greetings to you as well. Thank you for being here. Frank Ochi, you're welcome, my friend. Thanks, man. GG. Everybody give B some GG. Just got his ZBrush. Just bought it. What's the theme for the sculpt off next week? I'm trying to get a mic. That's a good question. We had retro sci-fi this yesterday. Let me show y'all the submissions for that. That was a really good sesh. So we're practicing for the ZBrush Summit, and so the theme was retro sci-fi. So this is by Brimstone Beard. Did a really good job with this. So we have 3 hours and we follow all the ZBrush Summit rules, right? So we stream, do all that stuff, and we got Jenna and Ricky, retro sci-fi. I'm gonna use this, Ryan. Hopefully you'll let me use this. Ratatouille came in hot, and Dan Does coming in, trying to get that transparency in his material. And then I kind of did everybody was like, is that a human earthworm gem? And I'm like, sure. But I think I'm gonna rework this character because I really like it. And then we got D-Zing. He's in the chat. Everybody gives a D-Zing because easy. GG, ZZ. But yeah, I did all this in 3 hours. Amazing. Then Sparks 7007007 coming in with the frothy milkshake. Amazing. Carbon 4444 had no idea what he was doing, but he went hard. And Mandibles as well, coming in with that plant eater. So yeah. And then Ben coming in. So we're just practicing. We are just practicing, sharing all the resources we can, so we do the best that we have ever done at the summit. So if you're interested in joining the dojo, feel free to join. It's totally free, obviously. Totally free. Okay, so yeah, so now you can see, she's got, if you want white hips, that's fine. Trust me, I ain't gonna argue with someone. So yeah, so I would do that. Put this in here and then kind of lock in your upper body a little bit, so it's a little bit more consistent as it goes through. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, what's up with that? Okay. So this is Medusa and Read This, model done by Lincoln Tanashi Ukama from Zimbabwe. Body has multiple subdivisions. Man, you're telling me to read this? You're ordering me to? Jeez. Yeah, I like this. I like it. Nice and stylized. Good job. All right, so let's take a look at the anatomy. Alrighty. So I would say I'm going to take off dynamic. Okay. So this curve right here, I would put it up a little bit higher as it goes in, because it's originating from here, and generally in the middle of muscles is where it's thickest. So I would do that. Here as well, make sure that this is the peak. The knees are a little wobbly, so what I would do is kind of straighten these out a little bit. Give it a, since you have so many great curves that are in here, anytime that we can get a nice straight angle or some really nice hard surface areas for some subcutaneous bony landmarks, right? We want to take that so that it's in contrast with everything else, and then you have a whole lot of visual complexity and interest that can be taken, right? So so here we want to flatten this part, so it's because it's a tendon, right? So we can dome it, but we do want to have that nice flat plane going on, okay? And then make sure it's within the muscles of your leg, okay? So we want to make sure that it doesn't go too wide here, okay? But you have wonderful style. Wonderful style, wonderful style. Smooth, smooth, smooth. And then for this, let this come down a little bit more, a little bit longer, right there. And then have this a little bit straighter, right? So you're hinting at it, which is really, really good. Just make sure it comes from the hamstring or your biceps femoris, more specifically. And then with these legs, let's give her a little bit more of a hit right here on the vastus lateralis, right at the end, right there. And then we can get that nice organic pop, and then the knee, okay? Bum, 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 bum. But I am liking this. I am liking that. We don't need the bump there. There's not a bump here. It's just inserting in. There's no knob or anything that's inserting into. And then we want to take this anterior tibialis right here, and not flex it, right? But we do want to fill in this information, because that way we have this great hard surface work, nice straight line, and then we've got this extra curve in contrast, right? So I would do that. Let's see, that's looking good. The back of the leg, especially on this one, since we're straightening the leg, this is a little bit too much right there. And what I would do is I would really hit this vastus medialis right here. Okay, you can have the skin pressing up against each other, but you're missing this muscle to kind of balance the leg off, right? So you can do that. And then we want again, a flat line going straight up. Make sure it's within the muscles, right? And then this is okay. You're gonna have your hamstring come this way, your adductors come this way, so it will be much rounder than it will be on the outside. And then again, just a little bit more. I mean, with these legs, let's let's be very deliberate about the angles and curves that we're making to really sell that, right? So boom, and smooth it out, right? So with this, you can really take this opportunity to boom, get this nice smooth curve and almost have it boxy, and then on the outside, you can have it curvy, so you've got sharp and then curve, right? So you can definitely take so many opportunities with this piece to really mix in the bony landmarks and the organics. So here, let's see, do we have arms? No arms? Okay. So for the back, we definitely want to take that opportunity to get our bony landmark of the scapula right here, right? So we want that. And I like how it's lifted off here. Let's make this the tallest part of the back. Okay. So your traps are gonna fall underneath these. Okay, because probably want to look up Lemmy Beauty. I'm not I'm not sure if she's completely natural in terms of not having any cosmetic surgeries, but she seems natural enough, but kind of in the same vein as the character that you have, at least in the legs, right? So I would let's see, yeah, so you have these hips that are kind of like in the same position that yours are in, but sometimes you might get a back shot of her, and so I would pay attention to what her clavicle is doing, and generally what's happening is that it's leveling off into the bony landmark right here. Okay, so that's kind of what we want to do, so it doesn't look like she's a bodybuilder. You do want her to be feminine and curvy and all that good stuff, but we also don't want to make her look too muscular, because it's not the vibe that I'm getting with this piece. Okay, but if that's a way that you want to go, then definitely you want to have it dive into the bony landmark, and then she'll be a bodybuilder. Okay, just even the slightest amount, because you can imagine all the years it takes to just grow just a little bit of muscle. So yep, but that's what I would do. And just straighten out this, again, taking the opportunity to find any place where we can contrast this super curvy sculpture with a straight line, right? And then whenever you put the arms in there, it should work. Really great angle for the bottom of the abdomen. Nice hits for the the anterior superior iliac spine. Possibly having, instead of having this right here, bringing this down into the serratus right here, so it doesn't look too empty or too gaunt, right? And then you can get that nice soft transition. You'll have a whole lot more interest. And then let's flex these spina erectus, and then make sure everything else is following the rib cage. Okay, but yeah, I think biggest thing I would do is bring the serratus down. It's gonna give you a really nice subtle form here, right? Just something like that. Okay, so yeah, good job. All right, so this one is by John Spock 700. What up? Brimstone in the house. What's going on? Sanctum, she thick. Alrighty, so this is John Carbon Goliath. Okay, so let me show you. Another student of mine is doing David. Okay, so we spent 6 weeks on his. So I want to go through what he did. Okay, so where is it? Right here. Okay, so this is not my sculpture. This is my student Sebastian. We just finished today, actually. We just finished today. Let me see. Hand, sword. So many damn swords. All right, so we'll just take that one. Okay, so things that you can do that would change yours is we really need to see the rib cage, and we really need to see the ribs, right? This kid has not had enough time to get a lot of thick muscles, So they're going to be very close to the chest. You're going to see a whole lot of rib cage everywhere. Okay, so that's the first thing. Next thing, make sure you accentuate your bony landmarks on your elbows, and make sure that the arms are not thick at all. They should be very, very thin. Okay. What else? And yeah, just ensuring that the muscle maturity is not doesn't look anything close to an adult, right? So this right here, all this right here, you need to make it way, way smaller, unless he's on, you know, biblical steroids or something like that. Then we really need to be very deliberate about every single angle in here. Okay. And make sure you hit that rib cage. Make sure you hit that rib cage. Is there a skeleton in here? Is there a skeleton in here, John? Better be. Better be, John. All right. So, yeah, you want to bring all this down, you know, because this is just a whole lot of muscular development that has not had the chance to occur. So much closer, and then make sure you bring it from here. This flatten. I'm not sure if it would protrude out that much, John, but we'll sculpt it there anyway. So I would double check this, because that's kind of like really sending it out, right? But yeah, you want to put all this to the rib cage. Al dente, al dente, al dente, al dente. Okay. And you want to hint at each one of these ribs. So you can smooth it out, do all that stuff. Okay. But we need him with a whole lot less mass, right? The whole point of it was, you know, that the extreme contrast from one character to the next, right? So you're going to be seeing the clavicle all the way, right? Not, you know, he's not Marcus Rule, right? So let's well, I don't want to get on a watch list or something, so I'm not going to search that. But you're going to see, you know, 14-year-old, you know, unless they're a genetic specimen, they're just not going to have a whole lot of mass, right? So it just depends. I mean, if you want the genetic freak, you can go that route. There's plenty of examples on the internet. If you want to type in those searches, feel free. Just some basic stuff. Make sure that whenever your arm is out, then you want to bring this pec forward, right? But yeah, just imagine. I mean, you and I, you know, we know about bodybuilding and all that good stuff. So just imagine, you know, this kid is not on any PEDs, right? No PEDs, no creatine, no whey protein, no casein protein, just surviving, right? Okay. Yeah, believably skinny, D-Zinc, believable skinny people is, yeah. It's all in the rib cage. It's all in the rib cage, right? Just follow the rib cage. and you will be fine. The more the rib cage is there, the more, obviously you don't want to make them look like a zombie or anything, but you definitely want to keep it close to the chest. Okay. But here, Yep. Okay. So that would be the first thing, and then just really bring all the musculature down a lot. Okay. And just bring it all to the rib cage, brother. Okay. And but yeah, if you do that, and then watch this clavicle, because it's over accentuated. You can see the difference, right? So if you want to, and his shoulders are locked, right? So you want to bring that forward, right? Make sure you bring the clavicle, rotate it from this, from the head of the clavicle, and rotate it. You want to bring it forward. You don't want to rotate it forward. I know it sounds kind of weird, but you don't want to. You want to keep the clavicle roughly in the same place. So we don't want to swing the clavicle out or anything like that. We're just doing this, right? So yeah, do that. And then for this one, you probably want to raise it a little bit more, right? So because he's about to fall over, and you got all the weight on this side, right? And it doesn't seem like a very heroic, conquered all and defied all expectations and all that stuff. It's just not that moment in this sculpture. I would really kind of act it out and become an actor and record it, practice it, record it, review it. Is it believable? Try it again, and really put yourself in the moment, because this is all very even if you just use let's just get the master. Let's just get the master, all right? Okay, so let's put this right hand up. What I would do, I would put it way up in the sky. Let's see. What's another one? There's another one. Oh, here you go. Right. You have a chance to kind of use a V pattern. Use a moment to kind of get some more directionality out of this, because you can see how subtle it is. And if this is a hero shot, or even if this is a hero shot, there's no separation. Like if we look at the silhouette, like we don't know what's going on, right? But if I send the silhouette of this, you're going to tell he's a sword. You can tell he's victorious. You can tell that he's going to be at the edge of a cliff. You're going to tell that there's a whole lot of stuff going on, right? And you'll be able to read it all. So you can see straight line, straight line, straight line, contrasted with curve, 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 curve. Everything coming into the center, contrasted by a completely straight oblique line to therefore further the sense of motion and the sense of action, because if it was straight across, it would give a sense of calmness and steadiness and stability. But this is a moment of action, right? And then we have jagged edges mixed with, kind of like a little wisp, a little ethereal flip, so it's not all just one, shape, right? And so, I would find, you know, if Luis Royo or whoever it is, one of these people that are masters, literally rip it off the canvas, every single bit, rip it off the canvas and learn from it and learn why it works, right? And one of the easiest things to do to learn how something works, especially in sculpture, is just to rip it off the page, right? Generally, that's going to be your job. Generally, they're going to go, hey, here's the next concept. We need this in such and such time. And they're only going to give you one side, right? And you got to figure the rest out. Sometimes you're going to have to design some things. You're going to have to send it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I would definitely think about going that route. Okay. Caravaggio painting. Let's take a look at it. Caravaggio. Was it? How do you Caravaggio? Was it Goliath? Here I'm here. So it's this one. I don't like it that. Let's see, open image, new tab. Oh, great. Jesus. You know what? You know what? Okay, so this is the one that you're doing, Carmen? It's the other one. Of course it's the other one. Jesus. Jesus. Why has it got to be the other one? This is the first one. Why would you go with the second one? So is it this one? Yes? Okay. So yeah, you're going to have to solve all this, brother. If this is all you got going to go off of, is, you know, I mean, you can do so many things with this below the belt, basically. There's just so many things that you could be doing. So I would rework it, and yeah, I mean, that's one buff looking 12-year-old or 14-year-old. That's like the buffest 14-year-old I've seen. So I don't know what you want to do with that, but yeah, I would definitely figure out what's happening beneath. Okay. But yeah, I would do that. Okay. In terms of the face is a little bit too wide, and the ears are too far back, and your hairline's one straight line. You can see his is coming up here and then going back and then going there. Okay, so we need one more curve whenever we go through there. Okay. That's what Anna told me. Gotta just need to push the skinniness a lot more. Yeah, I mean, if you're saying Caravaggio, then if you want to copy it, then just copy it. Don't worry about anything else that we don't see. All right. If this is the painting, then, you know, just match it up, fill in the information. I mean, you got everything here. You can see the rib cage being hinted at right there, the sternum, everything's here that you need. I mean, this guy's a master painter for sure. So, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna rip it off the page, rip it off the page. And then don't worry about whatever else is going on, because whenever you present it, you don't want to present it like this, because the difference, I mean, unless you can mock styles and get it all the way down, and I mean, that's fine, but you're most likely going to present it just like the painting. So yeah, then just don't worry about all this, because you're going to zoom in and present it like Caravaggio did it, right? Hopefully. But yeah. I feel like believable skinny kids or adults. Yeah, Joshua Wyatt. Plus, he's holding something heavy in that extended hand. Gotcha was falling Caravaggio painting. Reminds me of Clash of the Titans and God of War 3 game. Try not to sever too many heads for reference. Yes. Yes. All right, so we got time for another. We're gonna go to the dojo. Let's see. Alrighty, so let's go to the ZBHO. So if you just walked in here at the Discord, I always make it available to my dojo warriors that they can submit work and I will critique it. So we're gonna go with this one and we'll see where we are on time and then we will come back. So this one is from Juanjo. Waiting on that autosave. Amazing. Alrighty. So looking good. Okay. Alrighty. So I would say that the torso is, in comparison to how wide this is, it's quite thick, right? And especially if we can put this curve in the back, it's going to accentuate kind of what you want, right? And so that would be the quickest fix I would do with that. And there's plenty of examples on Instagram of just a ridiculously thin waist. Okay, so we kind of want to support that everywhere else. Okay, so I would put a little bit less peaking going on in the arms, right? We don't want it down the center, making a very straight peak. Okay, so here we want to mark in our scapula. We want to bring this over, and you've got skin, right? So here you want to get your reference. All right, whenever you're kind of lost, go get your reference. Okay, and make sure you lock down this rib cage. Make sure you do it. We already went over how to ensure that rib cage 24/7. So I would definitely take a look at that. Okay. Really nice hint at the teres major down here, but your scapula is a little thick for the rest of the body. So I would get a little bit more of a plane change and raise it up a little bit. And make sure you hint at that serratus right here. Regardless if they're muscular or not, there's still going to be tension here, because you don't need to be muscular to have muscles. You just need to be muscular to have large muscles, right? So we want to hint at all these things underneath. And in terms of figuring out the depth and all of that is just observation, right? For me, I have a folder in my Instagram for any like really great reference, male, female anatomy, motion, any of that stuff, anything I can use to illustrate my point whenever I'm giving lectures or anything like that on anatomy. Okay, so here, you're going to get your chromium process. It's going to be here. We're going to get that edge for the scapula. Okay, and then we're still going to have this end at the middle of the humerus, right? And with this, you can put that wrinkle in for the arm, and just kind of make it a little bit less wiggly wobbly, and just trust anatomy. All right, you know that the pectoralis goes over the bicep, so just do that. Okay. And these, as long as you trust anatomy, as long as you put anatomy in here, it will, even if you're confused and you're like, I mean, the pectoralis goes over the bicep, but I don't feel right, just do it. And then it will, after you do it, it'll feel much better. Okay, it'll feel much better. Probably want to hit the top of the clavicle a little bit more. And so that's kind of what I would do with this, right? The leg looks good, especially down here. I love this curve right there. The feet are looking good. You definitely want to, like if we look at female foot, okay? So you can see that the toes are not facing all the same way. Like this one's kind of rotated and going inwards. This one kind of juts off. This one is a little straight but a little crooked. This one's just straight up crooked, right? And this one's underneath this one. So if you really want to bring in that realism, you're gonna have to express these toes kind of like you would your hands, right? So if just depends on kind of the feeling you want to get. You want to put her toes up, you want to put her toes down, you want to give her ballerina feel, you want to give her like playful feel. There's a whole bunch of ways that you can express that. Okay. Skull Hat Frank Frazetta has amazing art. Yes, he does. That's interesting. Too bad I missed the skeleton posing and set up. Did you get my email this morning? By the way, Sensei did this morning. Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll get to it. Dan does. You better stay in your lane, bro. Better stay in your lane. Tentative slug Crom laughs at your lane. Let's see. You want to go the route of Crom Frazetta? Yes, always go the way of Frazetta. Joshua Wright, who puts a sharp sword on their bare back? I mean, who doesn't? Just in case I have his book, I can check in that and see if the painting has more to it. Hells yeah, super pumped. Gonna work on him. Sounds good. Is too much sexuality, suggestive work bad for your portfolio? I mean, it just depends on how much you care what other people think. There's plenty of people that pay plenty of money for sexually suggestive work, for NSFW work. There's plenty of people that you would think don't do that, but do that. So, if you need to feed yourself or your family and someone's offering you $1,000 to draw something sexually suggestive, or 10,000 or 6,000 or whatever, and you can pay your bills, what does it matter what anyone's going to say about that? You just tell them, hey, well, I got my bills paid this month and my family's eating. So yeah, I've been offered to do it once. I declined it just because I was busy and I didn't need it, but yeah, sexually suggestive work, if that's what you're into and that's what you're good at, then people will love it. I mean, there's fantasy art for ages based around the strength and sexuality and all that stuff. So yeah, if that's what you want to do, I would do it. But you want to stay in your lane. All right, Sparks, above all, you want to stay in your lane. Oh, this is a study group. The hips are too parallel to the ground. This is not a study group. Depends on where you're trying to get work from, I imagine. Yep. Let's see. Big toe on a damn 45. Oh yeah. Also dropped in the Discord for good measure. Spicer, do you study anatomy every day? Yeah, I study it every day. I'm either teaching it, or I am correcting work, or I'm sculpting, or doing all that stuff. So yeah. So I spend a lot of time with anatomy. But yeah. Let's take a look. And this is going to be the last one. Everyone else in the Discord, I will get to you next week, okay? But I want to work on this Frazetta piece and all that good stuff, okay? Alrighty, so brimstone. Okay, so let's take a look. A little bit too puffy here. You'll have to kind of even this out. It's a little too puffy here, and we need to have the base shape for the flexors here. Alrighty, and right there and right there. Okay. So, and make sure you hit that bony landmark, and make sure this goes over, right? So your brachialis is gonna fit in here, and it's gonna go over. It's a little bit too much on the inside because we're gonna bring this over here, right? And then it's gonna attach to the styloid process of the radius, brachialis. Possibly a little bit more of a peak on here. Let's see, a little bit wider. Imagine it more of like the side of a pyramid, right? So we want to widen this and bring it together as we go down. And even that out. This needs to go around the olecranon. Okay, it needs to go behind this, and then you're going to have your conius muscle grab onto your ulna furrow right there. Okay, and let's see, and the shoulder looks like it's shifted over to the right, so I'll bring it down the humerus. It's got to attach that way, on the humerus, always on the humerus. Okay. And if you are going to accrocher this, then we really need to see the sternum here, right? We really need to see the difference between the two. Okay. Bring this over. Okay. So right there as well. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So serratus is looking great. A little bit more consistency as it's coming around, so we just don't want a huge bump and then have it slow down, right? Here you can digitize the first 3 ribs, so 9, 10, and 11, and then the rest will be right there. Okay. Alrighty. So 8 and 9 you can digitize. 10, 11, 12 you want to put together as one form. Okay. Not to say that it's not ever digitized, because I can show you that, but generally whenever we're blocking it out and we're just trying to get the overall form and things that you can count on 9 times out of 10, that's what I would do. Let's see, where abs, where is it? Is that serratus? Is that where it is? Obliques. Yeah. So if you want to get down to a ridiculously low body fat percentage, then you'll be able to see pretty much every single one. But if you're going to block it out, you can kind of just block it out as one, and then you can digitize it. But again, it just depends on how physically fit, you know, or what the amount of body fat is here. Okay, she's probably yeah, you can see the veins on her serratus, so she's probably in the nines and eights, and for a female that's very, very, very low. Unhealthy low. Okay, so yeah, so you can totally do that if you need to, right? And then your brachialis, same issue as the other one. Bring this over a little bit more depth and contrast here, and then hit your bony landmark again, right? And then bring this, your conius muscle. Make sure you get your bony landmark here for your epicondyle, and just have everything come out from there. Okay. And that you can probably bring in these adductors here. Bring them in a whole lot more. Generally, we'll have these much closer on a male. Okay. So you might want to stretch it out. It seems like his legs are really spread out, kind of curved in. So, yep. And then make sure you flex his glute, because he's got his leg back, and so we kind of want to give it a bit more of a face here, and we want to bring it down. Okay, if you're going to put the fat in the glute, then you want to bring it down. Here a little bit more shaved off. Okay, right there, and bring the Asius Crachius together. Okay. Okay. Vastus lateralis is curving in a bit too much, and it's too heavy on the back end. Okay. And a little bit more depth around here, right on each side of the pelvis. There's really not a lot going on. Okay. So we can mess around with the depth around here, so you don't have like a super flat waist, front of your waist. Okay. So bring that around, and more depth here whenever the rectus femoris comes out. Okay, we really want the sense that's coming out of there. Okay, and then also here as well, just a little bit too much right there. Okay, and yeah, and just going through this really quickly, everybody. So if it looks sketchy, or if it's not perfectly on the same spot, just get over it. Okay, just get over it. Sick of it. All right, and make sure that your calf doesn't go in front of your fibula, and make sure your calf doesn't go in front of your tibia. Okay, and get your extensor carpi ulnaris longus gerfascium of the pectodorsal, all that stuff, and then get your anterior tibialis. Okay. Make sure you get that. All right. So I think everything else we've covered before. So I would just go through and go through that checklist and make sure that you have it. But yeah, you want to, you have all the markings in, right? All the lines drawn in, and now you kind of just need to come in here and make it look good. Really, really nice right there. That going around. And just making these muscles look nice and coming out and being consistent and in their as they're coming out, right? Not suddenly losing form, coming in form, getting, no wiggle wobbles, right? And make sure that's there. This is here, your tendon right there, and there you go. Okay, so yeah, and then your forearm and your hand are not in proportion, so kind of gotta go through here and fix some of these things. In terms of proportion, you're missing a bony landmark right there, so you want that little knock. But yeah, so that's kind of where you are right now. Just making it look sexy, making it look appeasing, all that stuff, right? So boom, boom, boom. Alrighty, and yep, so that's what I would do for yours. And then make sure that it really feels like everything's coming out of here, right? And yeah, you just want to find a fitness model or an athlete or something like that that has plenty of material for you to go through and analyze and use for your sculptural benefit. And the best place to find that is Instagram. So just go through, just start adding bodybuilders, and Instagram there's just so many on Instagram, you will never run out, right? So yeah, I would do that. Okay, ready, and a little bit more to the front. Right, remember, we need a front plane for the oblique here. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, let's see. How can we stay in our lanes when we're talking up 4, 5, 8 lanes at a time with the apex predator alpha dominance? That's a very good question, chat. I'm gonna need y'all to answer that one. Brimstone Beard, still some rough lock-ins all over. Oh yeah. Chris Mobley, I made sculpt. I'm retopping it in Maya. What's my next step? Probably baking your high to your low. Brimstone Beard was working more on the torso and upper legs. Nice. Thanks for your critique, Spicer. I appreciate it. Oh, my pleasure. Hello there, Master Spicer. This is the Critique Live. Oh, yeah. What's going on? Yeah, we're going to get to everyone else. I don't think we got to you, Gorgon. We are going to get to everyone else in the next episode, okay? What up, Harry Mandibles? Everybody give Harry Mandibles a follow. Good peeps. Very talented. So the lumbar area with the twist was a little confusing. Also, the pelvic floor isn't making a whole lot of sense to me currently, and the abductors and semi-tendinosis and the biceps femoris, some things I noted for myself. Alrighty. Well, hopefully, I think we addressed all those. Harry Mandibles, Brimstone, why are you asking this guy about anatomy? He's a nutritionist. Keep him in his lane. Jeez. Keep me in my lane, guys. What's your favorite piece you've ever done? That'd be Thor. Thor and what's the other one? The vampire one I did. What was it called? Something. It was called something. But yeah. Rubber clap ascius crachius. That must be the Latin term for the buttocks cleft. Yeah, that's what Scott Eaton calls it. He calls it the ascius crachius. I'm always learning something new with Spicer. Oh, hell yeah. Just stay in your lane, man. What up, G-Die? What up, G-Die? What's up, Brimstone? Alright, alrighty. Just get simple, don't worry about the other lane. Stay in yours. Anusius ani, otherwise known as a stinkflower, a species of Humanus rectus genus. Morbius. Alrighty. So, yep, like I was saying, working on this for, jeez, what the, and we're just going through it, just putting it all into place. I wanted to do something for my course. Let me, so if you want one-on-one instruction with me, you can go to XMD Academy and sign up. Classes are open now for the mentorship and the on-demand as well. We're going to be giving away an on-demand at the end of the show today, so definitely stick around for that. But we have that available to you. If that's too much, which I totally understand, you can go to my store and on ArtStation, and you can get that. You can get these, which is way more affordable. I would suggest getting the spicy bundle because I'm going to be adding a few more to it, and if you buy it, then you get it for free. All the additions that I put into my ArtStation. So yep. So and then there's XMD. Yeah. What up, Craft and Canvas? Alrighty, so definitely check out those links and get yourself some anatomy knowledge. Okay, but yeah, been working on this one, and I'm gonna be adding it to the course. Any piece I'm, actually going to finish, I always record it, and I kind of know beforehand if I'm gonna finish it or not. Which is pretty weird, but I'll take it. So anytime I'm going to finish a piece, I always record it and always put it up on XMD so you can kind of see all this stuff in action, see it all come together, all of it put together, all the theories I'm teaching in the course being exemplified within one sculpture. So I try to add 1 to 2 of those a year to my course, because it's, this industry moves fast. So always got to have current content. Okay. And thanks to Guargun for the follows and subscriptions, and Noisemaker 13 and Zishwe. Thank you very much. All right, so hitting the lateral head of the deltoid. Bring this over, and usually what I do is I go here, I turn on transparency, and I put everything where it needs to go, right? So here, we need to raise this. There's his hip line right here and his oblique. And if you need any extra help, this is really good for likenesses as well. So if you're having trouble with a likeness, I would use this method. Go Matchmaker, which is BMM, and turn off Z-Sub, and then you can actually just draw this directly on your mesh, right? And then you can come in here and kind of see, well, I kind of need to move this, I need to put this here, I need to put that there. And especially for likenesses, this is a huge time saver, right? And then you can hold spacebar, hold shift, turn RGB off. So whenever you smooth it, it just stays there, right? But even with Frank Frazetta, he's hinting at these rib cages right here, right? So you can always follow the rib cage. Always follow the rib cage, okay? And here is the trap, the clavicle, it going into the armpit for the teres major and how it's bunching up against the tricep, right? That type of stuff. Okay. And then the lat here, and then you're putting all this in, and then you can turn off the pain information, and then you can kind of fill it in with your anatomy, right? So you know that it's going to go into the armpit. You know that, right? So regardless of what you see in the painting, you're going to do this, right? And bring that around. So this is its back fat. Same here. You want to. So now that you have one side, you're going to put it on the other side, right? So here, you're going to put that back fat and that oblique here. And you're just going to copy the other side, right? So boom, we're going to have the rib cage. So you can do that again, right there. And then put the clavicle on top, right? So... And for anyone that already has a course, anything that I add to it, you get for free. You don't have to buy it or anything. And so if you haven't checked it out in a while, definitely check out the Spawn tutorial and let me know what you think. Because I'm trying to give you the entire process, and then giving you videos, with like explanation of any like technical thing that I did in the time-lapse videos. So yeah, hopefully it's helpful to you. Okay. When in doubt, Frazetta it out. You know it. Joshua Wright, how do I take your course? You click that xmdacademy.com link, and you just sign up for it, right? So you just click one of these there, and you can do that. McGrimroon, Raiden, appreciate ya. Why is it August already? I can smell the pumpkin spice lattes from here. Oh yeah. Thank you, McGrimroon. Immediate night bot shut down. Just in case, the on-demand course, yeah, it's right underneath, right there. First time out I've ever had. Oh. What do you use to paint your models? What do you recommend? You talking about like my 3D prints, or are you talking about this stuff? This stuff I'll just do in ZBrush, like generally for the my clients don't want color information on their pieces. They just want gray renders. And if I'm selling it off of my own, then I'm just going to print it out and show that, right? Because that's what the final product is going to be. So, I mean, it's nice to see it painted and everything, but I'd rather, for me, and I don't know if this is a bad marketing ploy or not, but I always show them what they're going to get, not what it's going to look like whenever it's all finished and it's all doing this and all doing that, right? Because they're not going to get a painted model from, at least not from me, because I'm not going to paint any models. But if I really, like for this one, I'm going to go all the way. So I'm going to paint this, and most likely I'm just going to BMM and do that and just take it directly off of the painting, and then fill in the information after that. Okay. Kimara, what's going on, sister? Yeah, you can use Substance Painter for sure. Yeah, you just Z remesh it. You do a quick unwrap, you know, it's going to be very dirty, but at least it'll be there. And then throw it into Substance Painter and go at it. Export those maps as texture maps, your RGB. Thank you, Rick GM. What is it? Yeah, you take those texture maps, put it in here, and then apply texture map as poly paint, which is going to be poly paint from texture. So whenever you bring it back, you just apply it to your model at a very high subdivision level, and you're golden. Okay. Whoa. High voltage. 102, 102, 102, where rock lives. Are there too many people who's buying 3D printed models? I would never sell an STL. Never. It's just, you're just asking for it. You're just asking to get ripped off. But I would sell a print, and then they're going to have to go through at least some trouble having to cast and print it and do that. But if they're going to do that, then they actually have physical evidence that they're ripping me off. But, you know, if I'm doing a license, if I'm doing Batman, I can't really be angry that they're doing exactly what I'm doing, which is ripping off a license and trying to use it for my own personal financial gain. So there is a limit to how emotionally involved you can be, right? You gotta, you know, what goes around comes around, right? So if you're doing a licensed character, I wouldn't be too, especially if you're selling it to make money, I wouldn't feel too bad when it gets ripped off of you, you know? Yeah, Crafting Canvas knows it. Crafting Canvas knows it. Don't want to be selling them STLs. Sell the printed model. Because what's going to happen is, because these people that are buying STLs, generally, they just print it out, they paint it, and then they put it up there, right? And so, they don't really they only understand that about their process, right? About what they're doing. So they value that, right? They don't value what you did to get it there, right? So what's going to happen? In some countries, it's way more prevalent than others. Some of them, they're just like, you're selling your STL, and there are discords with thousands of members, all of them, right? Well, not all of them, but you'll get 20, 30 people coming together to buy your STL, and you're selling your STL for $5 to $7. And so now 20 people got a hold of it, and they just trade it off. And they think they're very, very proud of it. They're very proud of their communities. So don't do it. Don't do it. Because as soon as it gets to one country, it's gone. It's gone, it's gone, it's gone. And it's being shared and shared and shared. And the more it's shared, the less valuable it is, and the less they care about not sharing it. Right? So, yeah, be very, 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 very careful. What about the original pieces? Are those safe to sell? So what I would do, I mean, if you want to create stuff and you want to sell it, then what I would do is I would engineer it, print it out, put it together, and sell it as a kit. right? A 3D printed kit. Make sure you put 3D printed kit. You don't want to put just kit because that's going to assume that it's casted and molded, okay? And so I would sell those, and that way, you know, it's much more difficult to pass that around than it is an STL file that is just a digital thing that most people don't even put value on, right? So yeah, you want to wind up on Wish, sell your STL, you'll wind up on Wish. I've been prepping to sell STLs. I mean, I'm not saying don't do it, all right? What I'm saying is that be aware that there are Discord groups, and I've gone on, you know, Dojo, you know how confrontational I am. I went in those Discords and I was like, bleep, bleep, every single one of you. Bleep, bleep, every single one of you. How dare you steal from me, etc., etc. And then they'll be there and be like, oh, we're just trying to share your work, etc., etc. You know, you should be happy about the exposure. And then they kick me out because I give them a piece of my mind. I'm like, how dare you steal off my table? How dare you steal off my table? So, but yeah. So, and then I immediately pulled everything down. And that was the last time I sold STLs. Because if it happens just once, your finances go down drastically. So 3D printed models is where it's at. That's where you want to go. Way too long. Oh yes, exposure bucks. Love living off of that. Thank you guys for the insight. Oh yeah, no problem. Craft and Canvas or the STL will wind up in a package of 100 other STLs. Yeah, it will happen. It will, as soon as you let that STL go one time. Boom. Gone. Gone. So, yeah, but I've sold 3D printed kits before, and for that, I just want to get my time and my materials out of it because it's not something I'm. It's not a part of my overall business. It's just something I do for fun. And I give it to specific people. I give it to very, very specific people. So if it ever goes out, it's 2 to 3 people that it came from, right? So so then you can kind of, see who's your friend, who isn't, right? Okay, so that's what I would do. Peter's Animation, what's going on? Do you resin print or PLA? Resin. I have an Elegoo Mars Pro 2. I have a Saturn, and I pre-ordered the Mars 3. That's coming out as well. So yeah, I am an Elegoo ambassador that is thoroughly unpaid by them. So yeah. The easiest time I've ever had with a 3D printer. Anycubic, the most difficult. Anycubic's very finicky, but with Anycubic, you just set it and forget it. That's it. Mars 3 does look very nice. Very nice. D-Zing, you should check out Industria Mechanica. They did a breakdown on Tested about how people would buy one model kit and make models of it and resell them. Apparently that is a really big in the hobby industry. They don't realize that the mold and the resin isn't way a kit costs so much. It is the artist, packaging, advertisement, etc. is what they have to pay for. Silicone resin is cheap in comparison. Yep. But they'll do it. They'll do it. They'll do it. And they just love to do it. I think it's so cool. Yeah, so just be aware that that is part of the industry. So be careful who you sell to. Make sure you keep a list of, if you are going to sell it, make sure you sell it one at a time. Make sure you get their email. Make sure you send them a message that says you are not allowed to reproduce this at all for any financial gain. You know, if you are, then you have to, you know, like if their job is to 3D print things, that they can't use your model unless they buy another STL from you. So you make a Superman STL and they print it and they really like it and one of their friends wants it. You're politely asking them to please buy another STL of the same model so that you aren't, you know, getting ripped off, I guess. You know, but they can print as many as they want for themselves, you know. So, yep, you just want to be careful. How's the NFT world going? Is it worth investing your time in learning about? The bubble's over. The bubble is gone. It has popped. It's peaked. Interest has peaked. Now it's just going to become a utility. So, you know, there's two routes. You can take your chances at creating your own NFTs, or you can create a business that creates NFTs for other people. If you want consistent money and you want to make way more money than you could making NFTs for yourself, would be to make them for others. I got my Anycubic Photon on sale. I haven't had any issues. Wow, man. I had nothing but issues with that, and a lot of people have told me that it's very, very finicky. So, man, you got one of the unicorns. Congrats, brother. Have you seen your work at Rip Like That, Crafting Canvas? I don't know, man. I get so frustrated when that happens. Yeah, but there's just communities surrounded, just all created to steal and share FTLs, and whoever does it the most is just the hero of the Discord. Oh my gosh, oh, so amazing. You're just such an amazing person. Yeah, Elegoo is definitely my favorite printer. I mean, you can get it frozen or whatever, but you're just paying an extra $1,000. Especially with the Saturn and the 3 coming out. I mean, both of them are 4K. Just that the Elegoo Mars 3 is going to have a smaller print plate, and Saturn has got like 3 times the size. So, and I like how they name everything after planets. It's super cool. Craft Canvas. Now, a lot of my STLs have been stolen, but a lot of other people's have. I've been the crazy one that will harass and contact and write negative reviews for people that steal. Hell yeah, sister. Yeah, me too. So, yeah. Just be careful. Just be aware that it will happen. What the hell is this song? Nope. Yeah, that one's better. Alrighty. But yeah, excellent questions. Excellent questions. You know, I just want to stay in my lane for you guys, you know? Just want to stay in my lane. And they don't care. They think it's funny when you're mad. People can be so mean. Oh yeah. Until you show up to their front door. And then you should see the look in their eye. They ain't laughing then, I can tell you that. So you show up on their door and you knock and you're like, hey, are you Bartuk 223? Yeah. Yeah, you stole my stuff. I'm here to beat you up. And they're like, what? And then you beat them up. And then you take their ice cream. And you just run. Spark 7007707. I've accepted the fact that it's gonna happen. I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'm gonna make an NFT after about beating him up. Hiya! Chomp and hiya! Karate chomp. Are you a martial arts expert? Oh, you should really. Oh my god! Who's next? Who's next? Let me see what this guy's talking about. Stay in your lane! Let me see who's next. Let me see who's next. Let me see who's next. You sculpting an ankle? Stay in your lane! What is that, a calf? What have you ever dissected a calf? Well then, stay in your lane! Oh, okay, let me go to the next stream. What is it? Oh, let's see what he's talking about. Oh, he's just making some reference. Okay, let's stay in your lane. Next stream. Okay, let's go. We're gonna hit all of them. Here we go. Stay in your lane. Oh, the world is right. It's just a little bit brighter with my efforts today. Mom! I want macaroni and cheese. I can't clean my room right now. There's a bunch of people that are out of their lane. I'll do my homework later, Mom. Really grinds my gears when artists don't stay in their lane. Peter Griffin. Really grinds my geese. Oh, you really shouldn't be using that accent. Were you born from there? Well, you should probably stay in your lane. Mac and cheese. Have you ever made macaroni before? Cause if you haven't, stay in your lane. Have you ever owned a macaroni store before? Oh yeah. Alrighty, everybody. So we are going to give away a free on-demand course to my course,
which is the greatest course of all time. Probably one of the greatest, okay? Trust me, I've gone through a lot of courses and this is the best course, okay? 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 Okay?
Harry Mandible Spicer, why do you keep talking about anatomy? You should be schooling everyone on electrolytes and stuff. Alright, so we're giving away free on demand. Okay? So what I need you to do, if you want to be entered into this live drawing here on ZBrush Live, then I need a hashtag stay in your lane. Alright, hashtag stay in your lane in the chat right now if you want to be entered. Do not repeat your entry, and if you have already been a student, do not enter. Alright, hashtag stay in your lane if you want to be entered into the on-demand, and do not double post. All right. Even if you misspell it, do not double post. Okay. We're going to go for another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alrighty, everybody. So that is it. That is it. All right. Joshua Wright, you are number 1. Shay, you're number 2. Tivo, you're number 3. Sanctum, you are number 4. McGrimroon, you are number 5. The Triga, number 6. Joe Dye, number 7. Frederick, number 8. Sumerian King is not entered, just in case. Number 9, right? Emmanuel, number 10. Eric Zahn, number 11. Skull Hat, number 12. The Lich King, number 13. Juan Jose Salazar Morales, number 14. Thinking Black, number 15. Alrighty. I hope you remembered your number. I hope you remembered your number. Okay. So we're going to go random number generator. All right. So we have 15. I'm going to throw you in there, Frank. Number 16. Okay. Frank, you are number 16. All right, so we're gonna hit this 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sanctum, welcome to the XMD Academy. All right, everybody, give Sanctum some GGs. Sanctum, you know what you need to do. You've been here enough. You need to message me on Discord, and I will send it over to you. All right? I'll send it over to you. Okay? So before we go, and before you go, you better not freaking go anywhere. Let us enter the $14 trillion Scott Eaton Templar. Thank you for being here on another terrific Tuesday with the Spicy Sensei and the Dojo. Congratulations to Sanctum for winning that free online on-demand course from XMD Academy. You're very welcome. If this is your first time on the stream, watching the stream, you just got your ass kicked. And you liked it. And you're going to be here next time. And we will be here next Tuesday. Same time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we're going to be working on critiques. We're going to be working on Frank Frazetta. We'll be answering your questions and putting on a damn show. So we've got over 117 quadrillion people watching the show right now. Multiple galaxies coming together to watch this show. You know it's true. I'm not lying. I'm not exaggerating. Multiple galaxies are tuning in right now. No matter what galaxy you're in, we are all one. One.